Hey everyone, thanks for your interest in From Demo to Close University 2.0, FDTC University. This is the second cohort that I'm launching. The first one was last year, but now I am adding a ton of new resources and material and making a lot of changes that's going to be really valuable to you. So I decided to make this video to explain to you exactly what you're getting, and should answer most of your questions. So let me share my screen and we'll dive right in. I do want to start with who this is not for. This is not for strategic enterprise AEs. So if you're working deals that the average sales cycles are 1 year or more, this is not for you. If you're working deals, and typically strategic enterprise AEs are also dealing with an average contract value of minimum $500,000, sometimes 300, but usually it's anywhere from 1 year or more sales cycle, 300, 500, a million plus ACV. This is not for you. If you're looking for something like that, if you are a strategic enterprise AE where your deals are overly complex and overly long, then I'd recommend someone like Ian Koniak, who's fantastic at this. I'll go into in a minute who this is for, but if you're a strategic enterprise AE with these two criteria, then I would say this is not for you and you should exit out of this video, or you can share it to somebody you know that would help. Also, if you're only looking for a course, this is not for you. This is not a course. This is a sales coaching program, which means you're getting course material, you're getting live sessions, you're getting a community, which I'll go into. But if you're just looking for a one-time payment and a course to go through and you're done, not for you. Also, very important, if you're not willing to commit to go through the material and show up to our live sales coaching and to be involved in the member community that we have, this will not be for you. And the reason why I say that is because you won't get the value out of this. So it's like you want to learn how to cook, but you're never going to go into a kitchen. Well, then you're not going to cook. You're not going to be a good cook. So you have to commit, you have to show up, and you have to put in the work. Let's dive into who this is for. So this is for SMB, mid-market, and enterprise SaaS AEs. And I'll put a little disclaimer when I say enterprise SaaS AEs. Enterprise SaaS AEs are usually split in threes: lower, middle, and the top tier. The middle and the top tier are more of the strategic AEs, where the sales cycles on average are a year, maybe more. Lower enterprise could be sales cycles between 3 to 6 months. So if that's where you're at on average, your sales cycles are 3 to 6 months, and your enterprise, this is definitely for you. And if you're SMB mid-market, this is definitely for you. A couple of like subcategories on why this would be for you. If you want to accelerate your ramp up, you're a new AE and you want to ramp up fast, or you've just been promoted to a mid-market AE, this would be for you. Also, if you are handling your own leads, whether you're getting them from marketing, if you're lucky enough, or you're self-sourcing your own leads, and now you have a pipeline of leads, you're like, how do I close them? How do I do discovery? How do I demo them? And how do I move the deal forward? This would be for you. Also, we have AEs in here in the university that are responsible for upselling and cross-selling. So you're dealing with some expansion revenue. This would be for you because you still have to do the discovery and the demos and show the value of the additional features that your product has. There are two types of AEs that we have in this program. Ones that are hitting quota and ones that are not. So if you are struggling to hit quota or you're not consistent at it, it's sort of spotty, this would be for you because we help AEs hit quota more consistently through our program, through our live coaching, which I'll go into. And the second group I mentioned are AEs that are already hitting quota. You're already hitting quota. You want to sharpen your skills. You want to improve your game. And you've already invested in other courses, but you want to see where you can take your skills to the next level. This would be for you. So if you feel like you're leaving deals on the table, deals that should have closed, but you didn't, this would definitely be for you. And unfortunately, for a lot of these AEs that are in the program, they're not getting enough sales coaching or training from their company or from their enablement team or from their sales manager. And some of them are getting some type of coaching, but it's not real good. It's not actionable. I have an AE that's getting sales coaching from sales enablement, but sales enablement is customer service. They took a customer service person and made them sales enablement. They're not trained for sales. And so you want to be able to get coached and trained from somebody that's done this 1,000 times, that does it currently, and that teaches this on a day-to-day. And that's something that I've done and I currently do. Also, I mentioned if you want to sharpen your skills, there's no AE in here that is not willing and does not want to just be better. If you want to sharpen your skills, get great at your role, be the top of your game, this would be it for you. The university is focused on a handful of things that's really important. So we're focused on psychology. A lot of the things that I teach here, I use psychology behind it. Big focus on discovery. You cannot close deals and you cannot do proper demos if you don't do a proper discovery. So we focus a lot on discovery, on different questions to ask, on different ways to find the impact of the problem of the prospect. We focus on using your natural tone of voice to persuade more, to convince more. And we're big focus, obviously, on demo, hence the name from demo to close, and obviously follow up and close and everything in between. Objections, negotiation, deal stalls, getting ghosted after a demo. This is all jam-packed in the course material, as well as the community, as well as the resources and the live coaching that I'll share with you in a minute. This university is also focused on teaching AEs to be seen as a trusted advisor to their prospects and not just an AE that is selling software. The goal is for the prospect to view you as a high-paid advisor that happens to sell a product. That is where the value comes in, and that's how you can win more deals. And we also teach you how to navigate a deal with multiple decision makers or multiple stakeholders. Many of you are dealing with multi-threading already, and you are potentially getting lost in it or not sure how to handle it. You've done a demo, you've spoken to one person, but how do you now speak to another stakeholder that wasn't really introduced? This is all inside of it. Side note, if you're asking yourself, hey, do you guys cover prospecting? The short answer is yes and no. So this is not a prospecting sales coaching program. This is a discovery, demo, close sales coaching program, but has some prospecting material in here. So if you do show up to our live sales coaching with prospecting questions, we won't turn you away. We will answer the questions. I will make sure that you're getting value and you're walking away with, yes, I now know how to prospect better. But again, the focus is discovery, demo, follow-up, close. Okay. I want to cover this because I think this is very important, because I mentioned earlier that if you're looking for a course, this is not for you. This is a sales coaching program, a mastermind. So what's the difference between a course and a mastermind, which is what FTTC University is? So a couple things. Course, number one, it's usually just a one-time payment. You pay $300, $400, $1,500, $10,000, and that's it. You one-time payment, and there it is. There's no recurring revenue there for the person that's creating the course, and there's no recurring payment or investment for the student. A mastermind, there is a recurring investment. It's almost like I have a Chase Sapphire card. Every year I pay $500 to maintain the card, and that's a recurring revenue. But in exchange for paying yearly for that credit card, I'm getting a ton of benefits for travel credits, for VIP experience and services. So one of the main differences between a course and a mastermind is the payment. You're investing one time in a course and recurring in a mastermind. The second thing, what I've seen at least, and what I've experienced and what my students have experienced, is with a course, the material is great, but it's not timeless and it doesn't get updated. A lot of it is outdated material over time. With a mastermind or a sales coaching program like this, you're constantly having to renew the material because it is a recurring investment. So it has to be up to date all the time. So I'm constantly updating the university with new material. So it's a living and breathing sort of document or playbook, if you will, for AEs. Also, with the course, you're sort of left on your own to figure it out. I've invested a lot of money this year in courses, and the downside to it is I now have to take the material and figure out how to make it my own in my unique use case, which is annoying. And with a mastermind, like a program like this, you go through the course material because there is a course material, but then you come in to the live sessions and you go to the support group, the community that we have, and you can ask more specific questions that is more aligned to your personal use case. This way, you're actually getting true value out of the program. So that's the second point. The third point. No support theoretical material. Also, course, there's no real community with courses. Some of them do have, which is awesome. But majority of the courses that I've been in and my students have been in, there's no community. With a mastermind, most masterminds, you'll always find this inner circle community, a support group, a member community with like-minded individuals with an abundance mentality, which means they give a ton of advice, they listen, and no one feels threatened. You're in a safe space. So that's the main difference between a course and a mastermind. So again, if you're looking for a course, this is not for you. This is anyone that is looking for these four things: a recurring investment, renewed material, live group meetings, more support, more coaching, and an inner circle member community. Here's what you get with the university. I'll split it in two. The first sort of title that you're getting here is sales coaching and support. And the reason why I say that, again, a lot of the students here aren't getting enough of it or not getting the quality of sales coaching and support from their company, unfortunately. So what does this look like, sales coaching and support? They're getting weekly live sales coaching calls with me. There is no other junior salesperson under me that's doing this program. I am it. I am the bottleneck, which is why I am capping this university. I'm not looking to build this university to have 2,000 or 3,000 customers and students. That is not the goal. The moment that happens, you lose access to me. You lose that personalization. I always want to be your coach. So that is why I'm capping this. And that is why I also provide live sales coaching calls with me. So what that means is you come in with the deals that you're working on, with calls that you need help with emails that you're trying to follow up with, any sales question that you have. Could be a career question or a deal question. Come in with that to our live sessions on Zoom, which is an hour long, and it's all recorded, and I will answer it for you. We also do live workshops. So if let's just say the community says, hey, we would love to do a workshop on objection handling or negotiation or getting ghosted, whatever it is, majority rules, and I'll do a workshop on that voted topic. We also have an exclusive inner circle, which is the member community, which I'll talk to you about. Couple of questions. What if the reason why I have the inner circle member community is because this right here. A common question people ask me is like, hey, Moore, what if I have a question in between the live sales coaching calls? What if we do our live sales coach call on a Monday and it's Wednesday and I'm dealing with a particular situation with a prospect and I need help? What do I do? Well, in that case, you come into the community, which is live technically, and you ask your questions. If somebody else doesn't answer your questions, I will. Remember, I am the bottleneck. The whole point of this, the value of this is that you have access to me as a sales coach and not some other person that I've hired as a sales coach. Another common question I get is for the weekly live sales coaching calls, how many students typically show up live? The answer is it depends. On average, it's anywhere between 3 to 10. But if I start seeing that there are more students that show up to these live coaching calls and not everyone is getting enough time in with their questions and they're not able to get all their answers, I will start increasing the frequency of these live coaching sessions. I'll start doing it twice a week and eventually I'll do it every single day. So you have nothing to worry about. All the students have told me that they are getting plenty of time with me through our live sales coaching calls, plus the community. So if you're worried about that, don't worry. I'm always going to make myself more available if need be. I'm going to show you in a minute. I'm going to switch my screens and show you the back end a little bit of what this inner circle looks like with the material, the modules, etc. So bear with me. All right, so we talked about sales, coaching, and support. Let's talk about sales material and resources. That's the sort of second category that you're getting with this university. So there are over 9 modules of program material. Currently, 9 modules. I'm about to add a ton of new material on discovery, demo preparation, negotiation, feature presentation, a lot of new material. So like I said, I'm constantly adding to this. You're also getting access to the famous sales cocktail swipe file, which means if you ever follow me on LinkedIn, you'll see I'm making comments saying I'm adding this to the sales cocktail swipe file, which is a curated resource of just like sales material, like anything tactical that I've seen online, anything that I've read, a LinkedIn post, a YouTube video, a podcast that's really tactical, then I add it to this swipe file. I originally created it for myself, and I made it only exclusive to my students, which I'll show you in a minute. You get access to the tonality training, plus you get access to any future courses that I decide to create for the university. That's going to be free in the university. So all future course material that I'm adding that I'll charge separate for other people will be free for you. A common question that I get, by the way, the course material, how often do I update course material? The answer is all the time. I update the material through my swipe file. I update the material through the workshops that I do. I update the material through the live sales coaching that we do, which is recorded. And I update the material on the course material that I add. So new slides, new material that I constantly add. Let me show you a couple things. Let me start with the sales cocktail, the swipe file. This is what it is right now. It's loading up. This is the curated resource of sales material based on what I've seen and what I currently see online every single day. So every day when I log into my computer, if I see something that's really tactical and actionable that I think will provide a lot of value for me and for my students, I added it here. So like this one's a new one that I added, territory planning, and some Jacob Karp on LinkedIn made this post. Really, really tactical, like really instructional. I added it here. But you have everything from prospecting, from emailing, from cold calling, discovery, follow-ups, and it doesn't end. I always add to this demos, and you'll notice something interesting. There's nothing really here except this little video. Most 90%, 99% of the material that I've added here, the resources in the swipe file, is not from me. It's from other people. If you're the whole beauty about getting sales coaching is that you're also mixing other ingredients from other people that is actionable. And so I found that if you deliver material from different people, different, I don't call it like different perspective, different tactics, but all in line with the same goal of increasing deal closing conversion and hitting quota or exceeding quota, then you'll see that people just perform better. So I don't like to limit the value to my students with just my material. I like to share other people's material that I find extremely valuable. So if you are prospecting, then you have this whole section here, and I constantly add to this. Look at this one. I just added one last week. Selling to a CFO. I have a lot of stuff on deal pipeline review, career, creating culture and leadership. So again, this is the swipe file. This is part of the material that I constantly add. The community, the member community. The inner circle currently lives in Facebook, but don't worry. I know a lot of you are not fans of Facebook, which is why I am moving this away from Facebook and into Slack. So this inner circle will be over in Slack. And it is anytime I add anything to the sales cocktail swipe file, I update the community here. I also, it's interesting. Let me show you actually. Let me scroll back up. This is what you also get. A lot of our students in here, they share material that they found really helpful. And so they'll add it in here as well. So I mentioned an abundance mentality. A lot of the students here have an abundance mentality, which is the only AEs I like to bring in here because that means everyone is willing to teach and willing to learn. So that's Inner Circle. It's a safe space for you to ask your questions and seek advice and get advice. And you'll see here, where do you want the Inner Circle support group to be the group to be live? I like it here on Facebook. I don't care. Slack, anywhere else. 66% of the students had said Slack, so which is why I'm moving everything over to Slack. So if you're wondering, hey, more what about Slack? It's going to be on Slack. Don't worry. Let me show you the back end of the course material. I mentioned you're getting tonality sales training. You're getting access to the FTTCU course material. Let me go to the back end to show you what's included more or less, which I think you've seen on the landing page in the waitlist. But I cover a lot of material here: mindset, demo preparation, how to open up your calls. And keep in mind, a lot of this is also contextual because I know a lot of AEs are getting leads from marketing, like demo requests, inbound leads, and a lot of AEs are self-sourcing their own leads through cold prospecting. And so there is a difference between how you approach discovery and a demo with a lead that came hot from inbound versus a lead that came from cold outreach. You have to there's a slight nuance there, which I teach, but there's a lot of material on demo, closing. Again, all the recorded live office hours, the sales coaching that we do are all uploaded here. And like I said, I'm adding a ton of new material to the university as well. And I did want to show you this. I think this is really important. Let me see if I can, no, let me do this. I felt like I should show this in the video because um, the testimonials that I'm getting a lot of it from all my students. And people are, like I said, it's a mixed batch. Here's a company that rolled out FTTC University to their students, to 8 AEs in their company. They rolled it out in January. So you'll notice their demo to close rate, or their overall close rate, has gone through the roof, has went up since being part of the university. So you have access to this. I won't spend time going through each testimonial, but you'll notice that there's a mixed batch of testimonials of AEs that have not hit quota and then they started hitting quota when they joined, and AEs that were already hitting quota but were exceeding it. So that's what you're getting with the university as well. So for those of you that don't know me, let me give you a quick background. My background is I was a failure. I quit sales right out of college because I was literally scared of sales. It was a cold calling job, a cold prospecting job, and I had sales PTSD. And eventually, I found myself back in sales when I got a job as a real estate agent, and then I did part-time cold calling with Allstate Insurance. And that whole year of doing real estate and cold calling at Allstate Insurance, I made over 72,000 cold calls. I knocked over probably 500 doors. I door knocked. And that year, I wasn't successful in sales in the sense of I closed deals, but I was successful in sales in the sense of I got over my fear of sales. And that springboarded me into tech sales or SaaS sales, where I joined an early stage company, became a VP of sales, tripled ARR for them. The worst salesperson on that team closed 50% of all the deals that they did a demo with. And I went on to repeat that same sort of process and playbook with a few other companies. And the best reps at that company were closing 70 to 80% of their deals. They had a 70 to 80% win rate. So I realized I had a process that I pretty much perfected, that I'm still perfecting. And I decided to launch this. And now I teach AEs how to do what I did when I was an AE and a VP of sales, and how I taught it to my team when I was a sales leader. I also have a podcast, SaaS Talks from Lead to Close, with over 2,000 downloads a month and growing. I had Jason Bay on there, Josh Braun. I was featured in the Challenger Sales podcast. I'm a recurring guest at Jay Barrows in the webinars. And all the AEs that are in the university, in the program, are from a mixed batch. We have AEs from ZoomInfo, HubSpot, Zendesk, Dialpad, Apollo.io. We have a lot of AEs from different companies that are really well known, and from a lot of startups that, and you'll know, startups don't really get a lot of support for their AE. So that's about me. Let's jump into investment. What does this look like? What's the investment for you? So currently, it's going to be $997 a year, and the reason why I say currently it's going to be is because I'm eventually going to increase the rates for this, and then have a cap for the new rate. So right now, when you sign up, or you're going to join the wait list, and then once it's live, it's going to be $997 a year. It's a recurring investment. And then the cohort, I'm capping this at 30 AEs only. If you're 31 AE and above, you will not be in this cohort. You'll have to wait until the new one, which it'll be a different rate at that point. I do want to say something. For anyone that has never really invested in anything like this, or invested in courses or coaches or anything like this, $997 is a lot. Because if you've never invested in anything like this, it's a lot of money. So there's a feeling of terrified and excited, which I find is a very healthy sign. If you're terrified and excited, it means you know that there's something great waiting for you on the other side, but you need a little bit of a push to get over that hump. And this past year, I've invested in more money than I've ever had in my life, in courses and coaches and in masterminds. And the reason why I'm saying that, and it's so important, is because I'm not single. I'm not 20 years old living at my parents' house. And I don't want to say I wish, but there's a convenience to that. I'm married. I have 3 kids, and I've taken the biggest risk of my life by launching this university, plus by investing so much money of my own money this year. And my wife told me, she says, I support you. And if you feel like you're terrified and excited, that is a really good sign. You're onto something. So don't think that fear and excitement is something you should avoid. It's something you should run towards. So if you're worried about this investment, a lot of companies are expensing this for their AEs. And so if you need help with that, you want a template, then I will shoot you an email. You may have already received one with an expense how to expense this, an email that you can send to your sales leader or your CEO or your boss, whoever it is. And for those of you that have invested in any courses or are currently investing in courses, you know that $997 a year to have me as your sales coach on a weekly basis, eventually 2 times a week, and eventually every day once this builds up, is a steal. All right. So I have an AE in here that spent $10,000 and got zero value on a course that he took. It was a course, $10,000. And so I'm very excited. Again, member cap to 30. So if you do join, if you decide to join, then please make sure to join the live sales coaching. That's really important. That's where the value is, plus the course material, plus the community. If you have any questions that I have not yet answered, please email me back. I'll be happy to answer anything you need.